Ortha.
Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So we have some endings and some beginnings. So the Blue Jays, they're out of the playoffs. A bit sad, but NHL season has started. So that is very exciting. And also the colder weather has started. Some of you might be excited about that. Some of you not so much. But what is really exciting is who we have on the show today. So with the colder weather coming, it's a great opportunity to talk about fire prevention, and it's Fire Prevention Week, talking about cooking and avoiding those fires. We also have the Power of Menopause event that is coming up, and we're talking to Nicole Scott about that. And we also have Doug Beyer on the show from Probus, talking about the exciting opportunities that are available for you there. So keep on watching all that and more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Online betting is booming. Booyah! Woo! Oh yeah! You could win big! But you could also lose. There is risk with online gambling, and that's a reality nobody's shouting about. Learn about safer play at knowtherisks.ca.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Karim Grant. I'm the host of the Players Corner. Season 2 is coming right at you. Make sure you stay tuned. We have a lot of exciting guests right here on Rogers Durham TV. Make sure you're there.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm with Mark Burney, Fire Chief for Scugog Fire, and this week is Fire Prevention Awareness.
It is Fire Prevention Week.
Yes, so this is Fire Prevention Week is a really important time to educate the community about those things that we can just push to the side.
Yes.
It really needs to be up front in our awareness on a daily basis.
It does, but this week does give us an opportunity to put a little bit of focus on some, perhaps some leading causes to fires and personal injuries as a result of fires.
Okay, so we're talking about cooking safety.
Yes, this year's theme.
Yeah, okay, so this year's theme, cooking safety, starts with you.
Exactly.
All right.
And you.
And me and you.
Yes.
Okay. So can you give us some statistics just to really hit home the importance of this?
Well, I can tell you that fires that originate in the kitchen as a result of cooking are the leading cause of residential fires in the province of Ontario. And over the last 5 years, 37% of all fire injuries were as a result of kitchen fires.
Hence the theme.
Hence the theme.
Cooking safety starts with you.
It does. It does.
Okay. So, when I have an electric stovetop.
Yes.
And I used to have a gas. So going from a gas to an electric porcelain top or whatever that is, when I look at that, I'm like, it seems very safe. I'm not seeing an open flame. Yet it is just as likely, because we're dealing with heat, it is just as likely to catch on fire compared to gas, isn't it?
Yes. One of the elements of fire is heat. And, whether it's heat being conducted by an element stove or a gas stove, that element of heat is there. And, when a product that we're cooking is left unattended and perhaps boils over from the pot and then hits that heat, that's where we have our problems, and that's where our kitchen fires begin.
Okay. So what are some what are some core tips that you want to get out today to help prevent fires in the kitchen?
Yeah, core tips. You're cooking on the stovetop. You have to leave the kitchen, turn the stove off. Tip number 1. Tip number 2 is have the lid for that pot close by, so that should a fire initiate on the stovetop, you can put a lid on top of that pot right away and perhaps extinguish the fire. The next thing is ensure that your clothes are tight. Loose hanging clothes, perhaps out over a hot element, are ignitable. And so having tight clothes or short sleeve tops when you're cooking, a great tip as well.
Okay, so just coming from a fashion standpoint, yeah, sometimes I have sleeves that hang, and why not have, just like if you're going to go for a bicycle ride and you don't want your legs to get caught within the chain,
Yes.
why not just throw a quick elastic around your sleeves to help keep everything
You could.
bunched in?
Yes.
Okay, this is probably, it's going to scare you, because I'm so glad you mentioned it's a simple tip. Don't leave a pot unattended. When I have been boiling a big pot of water, let's say it's for potatoes or for spaghetti, and it takes some time to boil. And let's say I need to drive my son or daughter somewhere quick, I have put it on low to keep it going and left the house.
Yeah.
This is a huge no-no.
It is a huge no-no, because the fact that you're cooking with water, it's not the water that's going to ignite. It's when that water evaporates because of the heat, and now what's in your pot is potentially ignitable. So yes, back to that number 1 theme. If you have to leave the kitchen, whether it be to go somewhere else in the house or travel for a short period of time, the best thing you can do is turn off the stove.
Okay, so turn off the stove and have a lid available so
Yes.
you can easily, whatever pot, make sure you have the right size of lid so you can
Yes.
extinguish it.
Tight clothing on your arms, 3
Yes.
solid tips.
Okay, beautiful. What about things that are nearby? Because you might not even notice that you can leave a newspaper just at the side of the stove, and you think it's not on the stove, but things can spray.
Things can spray, and fire spreads. Fire spreads because of combustibles, right?
Yeah.
So you have that newspaper beside the stove, or other products, maybe the roll of paper towels. That could contribute to the spread of fire. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to point out, and I learned a new term today because I didn't realize what these were called, but on your shoulder you have epaulets.
Yes.
And today they are pink.
They are
I've
pink.
noticed.
They are
so
pink
may
for
I
a
ask
reason.
why? Okay, tell us.
Well, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And in support of that, not only do I go to a local coffee shop daily and contribute, but I'm showing my support of the cause by wearing pink epaulets.
I love it.
Thank
and
you.
I actually had my very first breast screening done at the end of this summer. And
It's important.
at first I was so nervous because I've heard it's really uncomfortable. You're getting all squished into this machine. But it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. And the technician was beautiful. And I do recommend getting that breast screening as soon as you can. Thank you so much, Bernie. So great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Use that pot lid. Have it available.
My name is Chase Nicholas. I am a Migma hockey player. Growing up, I always remember my family talking about the Migma as the creators of the game of hockey. In grade 7, I did research on Migma hockey sticks as the first sticks of the NHL. I found a Migma hockey stick made in 1917, the same year the NHL was formed. I was surprised to find out the very stick I was holding was made by my great-great-grandfather, Alexander Cope. In 1934, an elder known as Old Joe Cope wrote a letter to the Halifax Herald claiming the Migma created hockey. I found out later that I am a direct descendant of Old Joe Cope. There was a time when Migma children were torn from their families and not allowed to speak their language, losing their words and stories. But the stories are coming back to us. Stepping on the ice, I take pride knowing the roots of the game of hockey stem from my ancestors in the Migma Nation.
Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have Nicole Scott on the show again, and we're talking about the power of menopause. And I love the title of this event that you're putting on October 21st, The Power of Menopause, because menopause does not need to be a this is like so not fair, I'm going through this. No, I think it's coming into our wisdom and our own inner strength and shedding away the old and letting go. And so you have this amazing event going on with all of these experts. Tell me, there's like 15 experts.
I think now we're up to 17.
17, okay, and counting. So why is this going to be a powerful event?
It is something that I am so passionate about, is making sure that the stigma of aging and midlife and women transitioning in their hormone levels, that we talk about it so that you don't get shocked when you start going through these changes. It was almost like my own pain of really having not the resources and the tools and the education at the age of 45, and my body just shut down. And I don't want women to have to go through what I went through. And so I've spent 8 years in this journey of learning and growing and helping and finding the right experts that have gone back to school and are learning about women's hormones, that we just do not have to suffer. And so it's going to be powerful. It's we've been working on this for almost a year, and so it's coming together, and it's going to be awesome. If you're a woman over 35, you want to be at this event. So it's empowering, education, and of course the swag bag, right?
Okay, I understand the swag bag has about, the value is $250,
and it keeps
everyone
on,
get it keeps on
and it
growing,
keeps on going up. Like, oh my gosh,
that's amazing.
The stuff that is coming in. We went to the kind of like a product and supplement show like about 2 weeks ago, a bunch of us, and the number of wellness companies that want to support us, want to be there, want to be in the bag is incredible. So
wow.
Yes, you're going to pay $159 for your ticket. It's going to get you a lunch. It's going to get you free parking. We know that's important in Toronto.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the swag bag, it's going to be all of our favorite go-to products for women going through the change, and it's going to be incredible. Yeah.
Okay, I already knew this event was going to be incredible knowing you. And the reason why I say that is because when me knowing you, when you hit any type of obstacle in your life, you're like, I'm going to figure this out. And you just, your research mind, you go, you need to find all the, what is going to work and what doesn't work, and find as much as possible. So with you putting this event together with other like-minded individuals, I know these speakers are gonna like hit it out of the park and provide so much information. I'm excited because I'm involved with this event as well. Adding the comedic type of, you can't even really call it relief, but the comedic, the entertainment side of, so we can laugh at ourselves with what we're going through. There's some weird bodily shifts that, you know, if we don't laugh about it, it can get dark. Oh, right?
Right.
So we need to just be able to flow with it.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Right.
Since we start losing the flow.
Right.
We're flowing in other ways.
Yeah. And it's sisterhood. There's nothing better than a group of women that are getting together for a day and being able to feel safe, being able to feel seen and heard, and be like, me too, I've been going through this. Or what's your favorite doctor, or who's your favorite, right? And so we have big names like Samantha Gladish, who's a hormone expert and has a big podcast that is helping so many women. We have a medical doctor that specializes in hormone therapy for women, so that we can talk about it and know the risk factors and the benefits, right? I mean, I didn't know any of this stuff going through my journey. So it's going to be a really great conversation, from hormones to talking about dry everything, itchy head, what to do. We have a pelvic floor specialist that's going to be talking about how we deal with this area when we start to get older, and how to check, you know, for this and that, and do we need to do Kegels or not, and, you know, what type of favorite tools can you use? These are important questions that we need, right? And yes, for me, I am on hormone therapy. I am on bioidentical hormones. I had no idea of the level of protection for my heart, for my bones, my joints, reducing my cancer risk, but I'm working with the right team and professionals to make sure that I am a candidate for it and it's working well in my body. These are the things
because we're all so different. And so to even learn about what are those nuances that you need to look out for. We do need to wrap this up, but the one thing that I just wanted to say too is that I bet people coming to the event will be really surprised about some of the symptoms that they're having that they had no idea it was related to perimenopause or menopause.
I hear that all the time.
Weird stuff going on.
Weird.
Like even, I all of a sudden have like dry skin patches, which I've never had before. Funny, like all muscle spasms. So I think we're going to learn a lot that can help to bring more ease and flow into our life so we can flow through the symptoms.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you so much, Nicole, for being on the show. So great as always. So if you want to find out more about the Power of Menopause event, it's taking place on October 21st. What is a website that they should go to? Or the
powerofmenopause.com.
Powerofmenopause.com. So we hope to see you there, and we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
My daughter is 7 years old and has a frenemy. They have play dates that always end up in a fight or tears. This friend bosses her around and treats her poorly, but she still wants to be her friend. What's a parent to do?
I would let them acquiesce to a certain amount, and then, when they're at this age, you still need to be supervising their play dates. So I might step in, not to correct the bossy child, but it's my child that I'm concerned about. I would just expose her to other people, teach her to have a voice, and let her know that she's got options.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I am with Doug Byers, who is, I want to make sure I get your title correct, Director of Probus Canada, Ontario 09. And the month of October is Probus Month.
Correct.
So I think this is a great opportunity to talk about Probus. I think there's a lot of people out there who don't even know what Probus is. So can we start with that? What is Probus?
Probus is a social club for retired or semi-retired people. And it's, as I say, it's strictly social. We don't do any fundraising. It's just where people can get together for common interests and have fun and take part in activities that are organized by the various clubs. And Probus is an offshoot of Rotary International. And it started because Rotarians in England in 1966 decided that they didn't want to be Rotarians anymore. They'd had it with all the events and the fundraising and everything. Yeah. So but they wanted to stay together as a group for their social. So they started something called Probus. And so Probus is professional people, professional businessmen, because that's what Rotary back then was.
Okay.
And it was men only.
Yes.
And so once Rotary changed to having women with them in 1989, then the clubs became
co-ed.
Co-ed.
Beautiful. And so this social club, I'm guessing it's a mixture of couples as well as single individuals.
That's correct.
Okay.
There are couples that are there, but it serves the purpose of people who are no longer have a partner, okay. That they can go and be with people that they don't feel isolated, or they join a group that they don't feel uncomfortable going into to groups where there are only married people, and so it's a good way to be involved in activities in the community and feel comfortable.
You know, with the impact that COVID made I would think that Probus organization, like Probus in all these different areas across Canada, are even more important than they've ever been before.
They are, and unfortunately during COVID, that a lot of the clubs, of course, they did it through Zoom meetings, most of them. However, people got away from it, and so there's a slight decline in some of the numbers in some of the clubs, but now that things are sort of back to normal, the club memberships are going up. We have clubs that are less than 100, but we also have clubs in Durham, in Pickering, we have 2 clubs, and they're over 450 people. Members each.
Wow.
So it just depends, but most clubs are over 100, and the clubs are all around the world. It started in England, as I said, went to New Zealand first, and then Australia. And the first one in Canada was in Cambridge in 1966.
Great. Okay, so what are some types of activities that let's say the ones in Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, what do you guys do?
Okay, well, there are interest groups in each of them, and that depends. Some clubs have 25 or 30 interest groups, so they have book clubs, they have bridge clubs, they have other card like euchre or bid euchre or hand and foot or cribbage. They have the book clubs, they have hiking groups, they have, some of them have kayak and canoe groups. They have skiing, snow skiing in the winter.
Wow.
We have wine groups. They're always filled up really well.
Nice.
So we have wine groups, beer groups, lunch groups, dinner groups, coffee groups. So there's a wide variety that people can do whatever they feel comfortable with, right?
That's amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. Why wouldn't you want to be involved with something like this, right?
Exactly. There's something you can do almost every day if you choose to.
Yeah.
And then each club also during the month organizes events. Like we did a historical walking tour with Bruce Bell in Toronto recently of St. Lawrence Market. We went to West Bend Theatre in Campbellford. But we try to organize things. They go to McLaughlin, Oshawa, Durham Central, is doing a tour of McLaughlin and how it played an important part in the Second World War.
Okay.
And so we have all that as well as the interest groups. We have events that people can go to. Just finished one also, a tour of the Trent Canal system.
Amazing. You have so much to offer. So we have about 15 seconds left. So where do people find out about Probus and what groups are available for them?
If they Google, just go to Google Probus clubs in Oshawa, Probus clubs in Whitby, wherever your community is.
Okay.
Just go Google it, and they all have websites, and we'll direct you to find out how to get involved with them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doug. It was so wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Make sure you Google Probus in your area so you can get involved, get out, and socialize. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Welcome to the set of Modern Business. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and on this show, we'll be talking to young, up-and-coming entrepreneurs, hearing all about their career journey and getting their trade tips. Join me exclusively on Rogers TV.
Hey, I'm Chef Corey Dern, host of a show on Rogers TV Georgina called Cooking with Corey. Join me bi-weekly for brand new episodes where I teach you not only what to cook, but how to cook. The only thing missing is smell-o-vision. That's Cooking with Corey right here on Rogers TV Georgina.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So the way I love to end this show is to either pull a card, offer some inspiration, maybe channel some messages. And today I'm using my Oracle of Unicorns deck. Now, I usually like to shuffle while we start, but one popped right out, so I'm going to use this card. This is the message that needs to come through today. So it is the card of past lives. So as of late, you might have had some emotions coming up, you know, whether it's anger coming up, whether it's fear coming up, sadness, grief, depending on what you've been going through. But it could also be emotions coming up from a pattern that has been ongoing, that has been showing up in your life in different ways and maybe in different relationships and different situations, but it's an ongoing pattern. And so this could not only be a pattern of what you've been experiencing in this lifetime, but could also be from past lifetimes. Some of you might believe in that, some of you might not. But what it can also be about is from your ancestral lineage. We can take on patterns through our DNA, just like you can take on certain diseases that can come through your DNA. We can take on patterns of emotions and reactions to situations. So if you can take notice to what are those emotions that have been coming up, how has it been affecting you within your life? What is there a pattern that you can see in different areas of your life? Maybe you can journal about that. In this lifetime, you are clearing some karmic past. You are clearing patterns from your ancestral lineage. And so if you can bring that to the forefront, what that pattern is, then you have an opportunity of making some different choices and realizing that, you know, you're not a bad person for having this emotional turmoil that has been affecting you. It's just been something that the universe is like, this is your role in this lifetime to clear this. You are strong enough. You can do this. And you might be drawn to certain resources. Maybe you need assistance to go through it, or maybe you don't. Maybe you can just go through this on your own and you have those tools in place. If you are wanting some one-on-one support, I do one-on-one sessions. I channel messages and healing energy. I'm also an energy healer, and I can also help emotions and energy and patterns to move through yoga as well, if that's something that you're also interested in. Every week, we have lots to offer on Uxbridge Scugog Life. And so make sure you're watching next week for more fabulous interviews with fantastic people. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
You must be the reporter. Come with me.
So, Miss McGill, how does it feel being Canada's famous women engineer?
The real story is the work we've done retooling this factory.
To build the Hawker Hurricane?
Indeed. 40 planes last month with a capacity of up to 100. Our fighters are over England as we speak. Of course, it pains me to see airplanes mass-produced like boxcars or baby carriages. But in war, we make concessions in favor of innovation.
You must feel at home, though, managing all of these women.
I'm not here to manage women.
Well, you must admit it is an unusual job.
I'm the chief engineer.